Roblox farming games look boring at first, but once you start playing, you literally can't stop. Some games let you make millions while AFK. Others require actual skill to get rich. So I played every popular Roblox gardening game to find out which one is actually worth your time. And trust me, one of these games is way more addictive than it should be. Welcome to Every Roblox, where we explain Roblox games fast, simple, and actually worth your time. Let's start with Grow a Garden. And yeah, it's still the king of Roblox farming. Even with all the competition, this game still has more active players than most farming games out there. And the reason is simple. It's insanely addictive. You plant crops, wait for it to grow, harvest, sell, and repeat. But what really made this game explode was everything around it. You've got the idle system, so your crops grow even when you're offline. You've got mutations where crops randomly become rare versions and massively increase your profits. And then there's the pet system, where you can hatch pets and every single week new pets get added through updates. So there's always something to grind for. And that's why this game stayed on top for so long. But of course, it's not perfect. One of the biggest changes in the game was the trading system. Originally, players used a gifting system which caused a lot of problems. People are being scammed. So the developers replaced it with a proper trading system where both players have to agree on the deal. And honestly, that fixed a lot of issues. But at the same time, it created new ones. Still one of the most addictive farming games on Roblox. AFK friendly. Constant weekly updates with new pets. And a massive active player base. The trading system, while safer, ended up affecting the game's economy. Some of the rare items started losing value because players could just trade for them. And because of that, grinding doesn't feel as rewarding as it used to. There's also a growing gap between players. Pay-to-win players can trade high-value pets and items, while free-to-play players have a much harder time catching up. So for older players, the system feels great. But for new players, it can feel overwhelming, and even unfair at times. And that's exactly where the next game tries to do things differently. Garden Horizons. At first glance, it looks like just another farming game. But once you play it, you realize it's way more strategic. This game removes the just wait and win system and replaces it with timing and decision making. There's a full weather system. Both Grow a Garden and Garden Horizons have weather systems, but they're not the same at all. In Grow a Garden, weather happens randomly. You can't control or predict it. While in the Garden Horizons, weather changes every 5 minutes. It's tied to the shop timer. So while they look similar, one is about grinding and the other is about strategy. And the longer you wait, the more valuable they become. So now you're constantly thinking, do I harvest now? Or do I risk it for more money? And that one decision is what makes this game so addictive. But this game isn't perfect either. There have also been concerns from the community about how the game has been managed. Some players have claimed issues involving development decisions, team changes, and uncertainty about future updates. There are also discussions about how the game was developed and whether it took heavy inspiration from other farming games. So, while the game looks polished, its long-term future is still unclear. Now let's switch things up. Super Forest is nothing like the others. This isn't about becoming rich. It's about relaxing. You explore, collect resources, and slowly build your environment. There's no pressure, no competition, just vibes. Which is honestly rare on Roblox. Here's how it works. First, you don't just plant crops immediately. You have to buy and place soil tiles first. Think of it like building your land before you can even start farming. Then, you plant seeds on those tiles, and over time, they grow into trees that produce fruits or resources. Once your trees start producing, you collect fruits and orbs, sell them at the market, and reinvest the money to expand your forest. And unlike most farming games, this one is very community-based. Players can work together by contributing to things like the Spirit Well, which triggers a time surge, boosting growth for everyone in the server. But there's one feature that completely changes the game: the witching hour. Every night at 1 a.m., game time, for a short period, players can actually steal fruits from each other. You can actually use the witching hour to your advantage. Instead of farming slowly, you can just steal. If you find the right player, especially someone with a big farm, you can grab a few fruits and instantly boost your progress. But of course, a lot of experienced players already know this, so they block their entrances to protect their farms. And if you're feeling nice, you could always ask first, like a normal person. Or you could just take it anyway. So after playing Super Forest for a while, here's what I think about it. Very unique gameplay. You can build and customize your own forest. Strong community features and a really relaxing vibe overall. Can feel confusing at the start. Progression can feel slow. Building your forest takes time and it's not as fast-paced as other games. Events like Witching Hour can be frustrating if you're not prepared. If you're tired of farming the same way over and over again, this might actually be the most refreshing game on this list. Now this next game is one of the most unique farming games on Roblox. Bee Garden. And the way this game works is actually really different, because everything starts with a conveyor. There's a conveyor belt that's constantly moving with random eggs passing through, and depending on your luck and your conveyor level, you'll get different types of eggs. So instead of just buying seeds, you're picking eggs hoping to get something good. And here's the twist. The eggs don't give you bees, they give you plants. Each egg contains around 3 to 5 random plants, and you don't know exactly what you'll get. So every time you open one, it's basically RNG. Now, if you're wondering, where do the bees come from? You actually buy them separately from the bee shop. And once you have bees, this is where the system comes together. Your bees fly to the flowers you planted, collect honey, and bring it to a giant jar in the center of your garden. But here's something important. The honey itself is not the currency. The honey your bees collect actually gets converted into coins. And those coins are what you collect from the jar and use to buy eggs, bees, and upgrades. And when it comes to upgrading your conveyor, you don't just need the right plant, you also need a huge amount of coins. Unique system. The conveyor system and bee mechanics make it completely different from other farming games. A mix of strategy, automation, and luck. And super satisfying once everything starts working together. Like any other game, it has its downsides. It relies heavily on luck, so you don't control what plants you get. You need a lot of coins to get eggs and upgrade your conveyor. And since production is slow, it can turn into a grind or an AFK game. This game is creative, but it definitely requires patience. So after playing all these games, it's finally time to rank them. And yeah, some of you are not gonna agree with this. But instead of starting with the best, let's start from the bottom. In C tier, Garden Horizons. And this one is honestly the most disappointing. Not because it's bad, but because it had so much potential. The graphics are great, the animations are smooth, and the overall design feels polished. But the biggest problem right now is the lack of updates. It's been a while since the last major update, and because of that, a lot of players started leaving. It's still a good game, but right now it's falling behind. Moving up to B tier, Super Forest. This game is honestly one of the best looking farming games on Roblox. The graphics, the environment, everything just feels polished. Instead of just planting crops, you're actually building your own forest tile by tile. And recently they added pets, which adds another layer to progression, and gives players more reasons to keep playing. And then there's the Witching Hour, which completely changes the game. Adds tension, risk, and makes the game feel way more interactive. In A tier, Bee Garden. This game has improved a lot recently. What started as a simple loop is now becoming a more complete system, with the addition of trading, a dedicated trading plaza, and now even a fusing mechanic. It's no longer just about luck. You now have more control, more strategy, and more ways to progress. And even though the game is still slow-paced, the loop of collecting, upgrading, and improving your system is actually really satisfying. It's not perfect yet, but it's getting really close. And finally, Estier, grow a garden. And honestly, this one is not even close. After its massive April comeback, the game came back stronger than ever. They even celebrated their first year, and the player base just keeps growing. It's still the king, and right now, nothing beats it. So, tell me, what's your favorite farming game right now?